What is going on, everybody? Hello, 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 and happy Monday. Welcome to the Astro Room, where we discuss everything astrology. And welcome to another edition of the weekly Astro Forecast for the week of March 20th through 26th, 2022. I am your host and your favorite astrologer, Mel of divinefeminineworks, where I help people unlock their divinity and discover their magic. All right, so if you are new to the channel, welcome. And as always, if you are returning, welcome back. Speaking of the channel, this channel is everything tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things you like, if those are the things you love, if those are the things you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell, so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. All right, my love. So this is an important week. This is actually one of the most pivotal weeks of 2023. There's a lot going on, not necessarily in terms of cosmic activity. It's more so, it's not quantity, it's quality of what's going on this week. So really important week. I'm so glad that we are starting a new season. We've got a new season, a new moon. We've got 2 planets changing signs. So there's a lot of energy shifts this week. So therefore, there is a lot to discuss. All right, so get your drink, get your snacks, get cozy, and keep watching because there's a lot to discuss this week. All right. So before I get into the nitty gritty, as always, announcements and some housekeeping. All right. So first, let's let the people over on Twitter know that we are live so they can join us over here on YouTube. All right. And also, if you are interested in more content, right? So I do the weekly and the monthly astro forecast here on YouTube. However, over on Instagram, you can catch the daily astrology information. All right. So definitely hit me up on Instagram, hit that follow button so you can be covered on all bases. All right. So if you are here with me live in the chat, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, feel free to say hello in the chat, and please and thank you, hit that like button on your way in. All right. And even if you're watching this on the replay, definitely hit that like button because these lives are chock full of information, useful information that you can use going forward into the new week. All right. And also, if you guys are enjoying this content, enjoying all of the stuff that I'm putting out, and you would love to donate to the channel, that information is going to be in the description box below. All right. So definitely hit that up if you feel so inclined. All right. So in terms of announcements, next week, I'll be doing the monthly astro forecast for the month of April. I always do it on the last Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is coming up next week. I know we are like 3/4 of the way done with March, but I am keeping my promise. I'm still doing the rest of the March monthly videos by sign. All right. So I'm still working my way through that. Be patient if I haven't gotten to your sign yet. All right. If you are interested in your zodiac, well, if you're interested in your horoscope for the week, text Zodiac to 855-826-5544. You will get your weekly horoscope texted right to your phone every Monday morning. People seem to really like it. So if you're interested, that information is going to be in the description box below. All right. And as always, if you are new to astrology and you have no clue what's going on, or maybe you started studying astrology, but you need a refresher, I created this thing called the Astrology Basics Cheat Sheet, which essentially gives you the quick and dirty on everything you need to know to start studying astrology, mainly the 4 pillars of astrology, which are the planets, the houses, the zodiac signs, and the aspects. It's an 11-page PDF document that gives you a quick summary of all of the important information that you need to know about these things so that you can start learning and committing them to memory, because regardless of what anyone says or doesn't say, astrology is most definitely a science, and like any good science, it requires a good deal of study. So I created this cheat sheet to help you get started. All right. And if you're interested in getting that, the link to that will be in the description box below. All right. So I don't know about you, but I am so excited that Pisces season is finally over. All right. We officially entered Aries season today around 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And when I tell you the difference in energy between Pisces and Aries is so distinct. Pisces season is so heavy. I feel like I've been dragging my ass for the last month. Not just dragging my ass, but I've been very low energy and extremely introspective. Like, as a matter of fact, last week I was just out of commission for a couple of days. Like, I had some processing to do. There was a lot of messages and downloads and sort of just preparing for this new astrological year. But Pisces season, I'm not gonna lie, it's not one of my favorites. It's definitely heavy. It's definitely intense. And I see why people try to escape that Piscean energy because it can just be a lot. But I'm telling you, like, I was literally in bed yesterday crying for no reason. That's another thing. I feel like during Pisces season, I've shed like the most tears for reasons I still don't know. I think I was really just purging a lot, but I found myself crying on a regular basis. So yesterday in my pajamas, looking a mess, crying, I woke up this morning and it was like a completely different person. My energy was back up. I'm like ready to go. Like that Aries energy I could really feel it. I feel like I'm really embodying that Aries energy right now. And I don't know about you, but I feel like as you ascend, as you get further along on your spiritual journey, you become extremely sensitive to the energies. You become extremely sensitive to your environment, especially if you're tapped into nature. You have no choice but to sort of feel the energy of the season, right? And sort of embody that energy as well. So thankfully, I'm so glad that Pisces season is over because, again, it was just too much. Let me know in the chat how Pisces season was for you, or if you're watching this on the replay, comment below how Pisces season went for you. Was it heavy? Was it intense? Did you not even notice it? Like, all this information is very relevant, right? Because we're learning astrology together, okay? And one of the best ways to learn astrology is by case studies. So I could say, like, for me, Pisces season was extremely emotional or whatever, especially because my moon is in Pisces, right? But maybe for someone who has no planets in the sign of Pisces, maybe Pisces season wasn't that intense for you, right? So we learn from each other. So again, hit up the chat, hit up the comment section. Let me know how Pisces season has been for you, all right? But in any event, new season, new moon, 2 planets going into new signs. So this week is going to be chock full of important events, all right? So not only do we have Aries season starting today, but we also have the spring equinox, all right? And the spring equinox is when the sun is directly over the equator, and it's when we have equal hours of sunlight and of nighttime, right? So even though we are in Aries season, okay, and Aries season is very much about the self. Aries energy is very self-centered. The fact that Aries season coincides with the spring equinox always, it's sort of a reminder that whenever you're talking about the signs in astrology, it's not just the sign that, it's not that just that specific sign that you're talking about. You're also talking about the opposite sign, right? Because all the signs have sister signs, or all the signs have an axis, right? So the opposite sign of Aries is Libra. Libra is all about balance. The spring equinox is all about balance. It's all about finding balance. It's all about maintaining balance in our lives. So even though we're in a season of sort of selfishness, right, with the sun being in Aries, we're still reminded that we need balance. It can't be all about us. We can't be completely selfish to the detriment of others. But it does bring up an important point that I literally just touched upon, is that when you're talking about any of the zodiac signs, when you talk about one sign, you're inherently talking about its opposite or its sister sign, right? Because the energies sort of work along an axis. So even though we're in Aries season, you're going to find that a lot of Libra kind of issues are also going to come up, because the axis of Aries and Libra is me, as evidenced by Aries, versus we, as evidenced by Libra. So it's about the self versus others. So it's the axis of relationships. So even though we're in Aries season, it's really about us, our needs, our impulses, and our desires. Relationship issues are invariably going to come up because we don't live in a vacuum. We relate to people all the time. Even though we may be in hermit mode, we've got to talk to at least one person on a daily basis, right? So relationships are going to be a thing during Aries season, but it's how we show up in relationships, or what's going on with us. The focus isn't necessarily on our partners or on our counterparts. It's really more so on us, all right? So this is an important distinction, but nonetheless, we're still going to be dealing with relationship issues. All right. So definitely brace yourself for that, because that's always an interesting time, right? And then we've got the new moon in Aries that I am super duper excited about. And I'm going to get more into that in a second. But we are at a brand new zodiacal year. So I meant to say this when I started the video, but happy new year. It's the natural new year. It's the time when things come alive, when winter is over, when spring begins and life begins anew, right? It's this time where we have a clean slate and we're able to start new things. And this new moon, honey, this new moon is going to be the new moon where you want to really start some shit. Not just because it's Aries season, but definitely because it's at the 0 degree of Aries, right? So the very beginning, it's a brand new zodiacal year. Aries is all about that get up and go and initiating kind of energy. So there's no better time than the present to really start some new shit, all right? So this new moon, I'm super excited about it, all right? So I guess I'm pretty much going through the highlights right now, so we might as well skip to that slide. All right, so these are the highlights for this week. Okay, I'm tongue-tied today. So first up, Happy New Year. Like I said, it is the start of Aries season as the sun has gone into Aries today. Thank God. All right. Then we've got a fresh start. That is that new moon in Aries, which is going down tomorrow, which is absolutely beautiful for starting something new and exciting, particularly something that you are passionate about. And remember, I said that this Aries Libra axis is relationships. So, if you've watched any of my other videos, I always tell you that there's a season for everything, especially when we're following the cycle of the moon. It's not every cycle that you are going to be manifesting money. It's not every cycle that you're going to be manifesting a husband or a wife. It's not every cycle that you're going to be manifesting moving or a career, all right? But this is going to be that moon where if you're trying to get booed up, this might be the moon for you to do that, all right? So again, really exciting times. Then we've got what I like to call futuristic vibes, and we've got Pluto going into Aquarius. This is like the quintessential astrological event, not only for the month, not only for the year, but perhaps for our lifetime. All right. This ushers in a completely new generation. Okay. Then we have what I like to call feeling crabby. Okay. Because we've got Mars going into Cancer. Now, Mars has been in Gemini for 7 months. Okay. It's been annoying. It's been this very busybody kind of energy, and Mars is finally going to be moving out of that busybody Gemini energy and into Cancer, which may or may not be the best thing. All right. But we will get into that in a second. All right. So let's look at the week granularly and see what we've got going on. All right, so today, Monday, we've got the sun in Aries, and we've also got the sun sextile Pluto, which always makes for an interesting time. Then on Tuesday, tomorrow, we've got the new moon in Aries and Venus conjunct the North Node, which is also really interesting. Then on Thursday, Pluto moving into Aquarius and the moon moving into Taurus. And we close out the week on Saturday with Mars moving into Cancer and the moon moving into Gemini. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the week and see exactly what we've got going on. All right, my love. So today we've got the sun at 0 degrees Aries. Again, thank God. Sun is finally out of Pisces. So the sun's at 0 degrees Aries. And while it's at that 29th degree of Pisces, moving into that 0 degree of Aries, it is going to sextile Pluto, which is at 29 degrees Capricorn. All right. So today is a pretty powerful day. So like I said before, the sun officially moved into Aries around 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so about 2 hours ago. So earlier in the day, the sun was still at 29 degrees Pisces. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that the 29th degree of any sign is a very critical degree, okay? It is known as the anaretic degree, and it's The degree, when a planet is at the 29th degree of a sign, it is when that planet's energy becomes super intense. It's like the last squeeze of the orange before the sun moves on. Well, in this case, the sun, but before that planet moves on to a different sign. So the energy sort of heightens. It's like it reaches a fever pitch. And so this is what we experienced earlier in the day with the sun at 29 degrees Pisces and Pluto at 29 degrees Pisces. So sun sextile Pluto, it really adds intensity to your personality and to your ego, essentially. Okay. It allows you to be, it gives you this like intense need to succeed, this intense need to sort of express yourself, this feeling determined and purposeful, right? Because apart from just representing our personality, the sun in our charts, or the sun in astrology, can also speak to our purpose in life, our life purpose, our vocation in a way. Okay. So I feel like Pisces season was really a time of uncovering what that purpose is, sort of swimming in the depths of our emotional and subconscious oceans in order to find things of value, in order to find our purposes, in order to clean up. And, our subconscious mind is not necessarily always the best place. It may hold a lot of repressed emotions, a lot of old programming. But it's also the fertile soil within which we plant seeds that we want to manifest. And so I definitely said this when I talked about Pisces season last month, that Pisces season was a time to really do that, to really put in the work for that. Okay. And so I feel like we emerged today with the sun about to change signs, Pluto about to change signs, feeling very determined, feeling very purposeful about what we're here to do. I feel like I was shown this in a dream about a week ago. I saw a lot of people sort of emerging from this water. Imagine like a room just full of water almost to the ceiling. And I saw a bunch of people like coming up from under the water and getting their heads above water and finally being able to breathe. And I feel like that's sort of how today feels, especially because we're getting out of Pisces season, number one, and number two, because of the sun sextile Pluto. I feel like it gives us the opportunity again to be purposeful, intentional about what we are trying to do, what we are here to do. It gets us in touch with our power. I think that this is a transit that really has a lot to do with self-empowerment and finding your strength, finding your power in whatever it is that you are here to do. So I feel like many people may feel refreshed today. You may feel like energized. You may feel purposeful and intentional. So that's a really good thing. That's a great sort of segue into sun entering Aries, right? Because if you're already feeling energized about what you need to do, what you're here to do, or even just what you want to do, with the sun moving into Aries, that's going to put the battery in your back to actually do it. All right. So I feel like many of us probably started the day on a really great foot, or at least feeling much better than we have in the recent past. Okay. So I definitely think that that's a good thing. Now, one of the characteristics of Pluto energy is power. And with the sun sextile Pluto, it really allows you to harness your personal power, which can be great, especially if you've been feeling disempowered lately. However, anytime you have Pluto in the mix, and we're talking about things like power and control, you're definitely going to want to be mindful of how you yield it and how you wield it, okay? Whether you allow people to have control over you or have power over you, or whether you're wielding that power over other people. You want to be mindful of how you use that, because anything that you do is going to come back to bite you in the ass. But the way that Pluto works is that it's not so much karma like Saturn energy. It's more like self-destruction. So if you are misusing this power, this energy of empowerment that is available to you today, if you're misusing it, it's going to come back around to destroy you from the inside out. Okay. So be mindful of how you're using that power. However, it's really a great transit to get stuff done, especially things related to your life purpose and your vocation. It's great for studying psychology, the occult, things like astrology, things that may be a little taboo. One of the things that's been popping up on my feed, like on YouTube over the last week, has been like tantra. Right. And this is perfect. Like Sun sextile Pluto is like a perfect transit to study sex education, things like that. All right. So if you find that that's piqued your interest, or if during Pisces season you've been getting these messages about exploring these different things, I feel like the Sun sextile Pluto is like the perfect time to really start studying these things and understanding them from the inside out. All right. Then we've got the Sun entering Aries. It's officially Aries season. Again, thank God. And it's about getting shit done. It's about taking action steps. It's a new year. You can officially say new year, new me, do some new shit, start some new things that you're passionate about, things that may be, here's the thing. Remember I said before that Aries and Libra are on the same axis, right? So it's me versus we. So depending on how your own astrology is set up as it relates to the general astrology, right? Maybe you've been more focused on the we part. Maybe you've got a lot of obligations, or maybe you're just overly concerned with the opinion of others, or you've got a lot of people relying on you, that kind of thing. Aries season is a time to be selfish. It's a time for you to really think about what you not only want, but what you need, and kind of going after it, head first. It's about really putting yourself first and discovering what it is that you want. What do you need? What are you passionate about? And being a bit impulsive, okay? Now, Aries has a reputation of being a little reckless, right? Because Aries definitely leaps before it looks. And there's definitely a time for that. We don't always have to be thinking so much and weighing our pros and cons. Sometimes you just got to jump when you feel the urge, right? And so Aries season definitely fosters that, okay? So it's time to be a little impulsive, time to be a little selfish, time to focus on you and set yourself up for the next year. Don't go into this new zodiacal year thinking about everything that everyone else wants or needs or thinks of you or wants from you. This is a time for you to check in with self and be like, all right, it's a new year. What do I want this year? What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to have? What do I want to experience? And set those things in motion. Like I said, there's a season and a time for everything, right? There's going to be a time where you got to focus on everybody else, where you got to focus on family, where you got to focus on your partner or your boss. But Aries season is when you can be you, all right? And focus on you. So do that over the next month. Don't neglect yourself. Definitely not for the sake of other people. This is the time for you to really tap in and understand your own needs, wants, and desires. All right. So that is Monday. Let's keep it moving. All right, so Tuesday, one of the better days of the week because we've got that new moon in Aries going down at 0 degrees Aries. So you'll see the sun and the moon conjunct at 0 degrees Aries. And then we've also got Venus conjunct the North Node. Now, Venus is currently at, the way that I cast the chart, Venus is at 5 degrees, North Node is at 4, but at some point during the day, they're both at like 4 degrees. All right, so new moon in Aries. Love it. All right. So like I said before, it's at 0 degrees Aries. Like if this is ground zero, we are really starting on the ground floor. Imagine a building, a tall skyscraper that goes up 100 something floors, right? You are literally on the ground floor. And you can choose to stop on whatever floor you want. You can pop in on some floors, skip some floors. Like we have an entire year ahead of us. Today is literally like January 1st. And then we've got that new moon tomorrow where you can cast your intentions, set new intentions, plant new seeds, and watch it grow over the next year or so, if not sooner. Okay. But I love the fact that it's at 0 because again, ground zero. This is the time where it's like the universe is saying, listen, you have a completely clean slate right now, completely clean. What do you want to do with it? Here's a pen. Here's a piece of paper. What is the story of your life right now? Are you going to keep talking the same story? Are you going to bring the same bullshit from last year into this year. I know you've seen that meme on Instagram where it's like a girl in a club outfit going up the stairs, and it's like all the stairs represent the things that she wants in the new year, but then she's got a bag behind her with like all the old shit. This is what we're not going to do. We're not bringing the old shit into this new zodiacal year, all right? We left that shit in Pisces season. We are starting brand new right now. So what is it that you want? What do you want to have? What do you want to experience? This is the time where you plant those seeds. So every moon, I look up what's called the Sabian symbol. And the Sabian symbol is really just an archetypal story that is attached to every single degree of the zodiac. Okay, so 0 degrees Aries is a woman has risen out of the ocean. A seal is embracing her. Wasn't I just telling you about a dream I had the other day where I saw a whole bunch of people like coming up out of the water, like finally being able to breathe? Like I said before, Pisces season, that was on some shit, right? It was really intense. We were really swimming in the waters of our emotions or our subconscious, right? And we are finally coming up for some air. We finally are leaving behind those emotions. And now it is time to embark on dry land and move forward, okay? It is really a new beginning. It's really a whole new impulse. It's a whole new everything right now. So please take advantage of this energy. You really don't want to sit this one out, right? Unless perhaps you've got Aries in your 12th house. If Aries is your 12th house, all of the work that's going to be done may be done by your spirit team, right? That's the only exception. And even still, I feel like there's some work that you can do with your spirit team to sort of move things along or get things moving. However, this is one of those new moons you're definitely not going to want to sit out, okay? It's this energy of emergence. And I think I spoke about this at the beginning of Pisces season, where Pisces season is like the fetus in the womb, right? It's gestation, it's development, right? The fetus in the amniotic sac with the amniotic fluid. That is the essence of Pisces season. We're being born now. We're emerging. We're coming out of the darkness. We're coming out of the stage of development. Now we've got hands, we've got legs, we've got feet, and it's time to move forward. All right. It's funny because I have in my notes, finding your voice and your feet, right? This is deciding where you want to go and actually going there. Okay. Again, a complete new beginning, starting from scratch, starting at the very beginning, and having a lot of energy to do this, okay? It's one thing to have a new beginning, right? Because technically we have a new beginning at every new moon. But the fact that this is at 0 degrees Aries, complete clean slate. And again, it's like spirit and the universe is handing you a blank notebook and a pen. And they're like, what is your story? Starting today, starting at ground zero, starting on day 1, what is your story moving forward? And I sincerely hope that your story is about moving forward. It's not about rehashing anything in the past, unless you want it to. You know, you have free will, that you have the pen to write the story of your life. However, with the complete new beginning, this may be a time for some new things, for a breath of fresh air in your life, okay? Having a lot of motivation, having a lot of impulsivity. Now, here's the thing with that Aries energy. It is great for starting things. It is like a firecracker. It is bold, it's dynamic, but it's definitely not conducive to longevity. So you're going to have to be disciplined at this time to keep up with whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Because again, I don't know about you, but I woke up this morning feeling energized, feeling great, feeling purposeful, right? Am I going to feel that way next week? I can almost guarantee you probably not, right? But I have to keep that momentum going. You have to find a way to stay motivated, to keep your eyes on the prize, and to keep that fire going, right? Even if you have to light a couple of firecrackers, right? Even if you need someone to light a fire under your ass, you got to keep that fire going so that you can keep the momentum going. Otherwise, it's like you had a great idea at the start, but you had no follow through. And we don't do that here, right? We definitely don't do that here. So do with that information as you will, okay? But again, this is a time to be impulsive. This is a time to really tap into your desires and act on them, okay? Again, a time to be selfish. So the new moon is going to be conjunct Mercury. So this is going to be lots of new thoughts. This is going to be having the like exciting thoughts, exciting ideas, talking to people about what you're doing, like feeling that energy of excitement as you communicate and as you relate to other people. So again, that's sort of, it adds to the beginningness of all of this, but you're going to have to keep that momentum going. Okay. So while there is going to be the need to do physical work, right? And to really physically get moving or take actual action steps towards the completion of whatever it is that you want right now, the fact that Mercury is going to be conjunct the new moon means that you're going to have the energy of planning available to you. Okay. So remember I said Aries is notorious for leaping before it looks. But the fact that Mercury is conjunct the new moon means that you might take a little peek before you actually jump in. All right. So little planning can actually go a long way. So you may want to do some of that. The new moon's also going to be sextile Pluto. And this is super important because this it brings a sense of intensity to whatever it is that you're doing. But not just that, it allows for transformation in an extremely profound way. So remember I said this is the new moon where you may want to start something new. Okay, it may have nothing to do with what you've had in the past. Even if it does, the presence of Pluto sextile the new moon means that you can transform something from the past into something completely brand new. I want you to highlight the words brand new. That is the essence of this new moon in Aries. All right. So you can make profound change with the sextile to Pluto. It's also like the phoenix rising from the ashes, right? That Aries new moon may have you setting fire to what is not working in your life or to what you want to transform in your life. And then you can just rise like the phoenix from the ashes and emerge completely healed, completely brand new, completely motivated, whatever it is that you want. You may have to set fire to some things in your life at this new moon in order to jumpstart that transformation. Okay, so very important, extremely important, but amazing energy. All right. And then we have Venus conjunct the North Node. All right. And I like this. I like this a lot because it's fate stepping in, right? Venus has a lot to do with relationships. It has a lot to do with love, creativity, money, fairness. And so this is the universe's way of rearranging things when it comes to those particular topics. So this could be a very fateful time for certain relationships in your life. This could be a time when fate steps in with respect to your finances. This could also be a time where the scales are balanced. Now, Venus is in Taurus, all right? And Venus's one of Venus's home signs is Taurus, all right? So the energy of Venus is super potent nonetheless. But because Venus deals with fairness as well, this may be a time where the scales are tipped in your favor at this time. Like fate steps in and balances things in your life. Okay, so leave room for the magic because I feel like a lot can happen with this Venus conjunct the North Node, especially because Venus is in its home sign. Like I feel like a lot of goodness is going to come our way, which coincides so beautifully with this new year and this new energy with the sun in Aries and the new moon in Aries. All right. So really, really dope on Tuesday. All right. So before I move forward, let us check the chat and see who we've got here today. Okay, so we've got Ramel, we've got Doug Taylor, we've got Linda, Philip Boone, Rob Blackstorm. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in and for saying hello. All right, so without further ado, let's keep it moving. All right, so on Thursday, we have the quintessential astrological event of the year, which is Pluto moving into Aquarius. And you'll see that at the right-hand portion of the chart at 0 degrees Aquarius. And then we also have the moon moving into Taurus that day. All right, so Pluto in Aquarius. So like I said, this ushers in a completely new generation. Okay. So you know how we've got boomers, we've got millennials, Gen X, Gen Z, all of those generations follow the transit of Pluto through the signs. So I don't know what this generation is going to be called. They have a name for like the babies born during the pandemic. I don't know what it is. It sounded really complicated, but regardless, this is literally a new generation that's being born right now. But not just that, it really signifies the solidifying of the age of Aquarius. Okay, with Pluto going into Aquarius, the transformation that is occurring and that will occur over the next 20 years is going to be astronomical, especially in terms of technological advancement. Okay. Now, here's the thing. We're just getting a sneak peek, like a preview of the full extent of Pluto in Aquarius, okay? So between now and June, Pluto will be in Aquarius, but then in June, Pluto will retrograde back into Capricorn, okay? And it won't go back into Aquarius until 2024. So these 3 months are a preview of what's to come over the next 20 years. And again, it's just going to be astronomical. Now, think of Pluto energy in and of itself. It's transformation. It's Phoenix rising from the ashes. It's decimation, right? We felt the heaviness, especially of the decimation part of that Pluto energy when Pluto was in Capricorn. Pluto in Capricorn took a wrecking ball to all of the structures and all of the societal norms that we had become accustomed to and that we relied on for so long. Now, what I love about Pluto in Aquarius is that when you think about Aquarian energy, it's free thinking, it's personal freedom. Even though Aquarius represents humanity, it's sort of like the energy of not everyone just lumped together, but people lumped together who are on the same wavelength. So if you are a free thinker, if you are inventive, it's almost like finding other people who are vibing on the same wavelength, okay? So it's finding your tribe, essentially. And the fact that Aquarius is all about personal freedom. It's going to be about leaving behind all of the things that we've had to rely on for so long. This could be government. This could be religion. This could be big business, large institutions. All of that is crumbling. And it's making way for us to be more autonomous as individuals among the collective. So imagine a collective of people who are individually autonomous. That is where we are going with Pluto in Aquarius. So the next 20 years are going to be astronomical. Like when I say that this is an amazing time to be alive, I am not kidding, because there is just so much that we're going to see. And I feel like even within the next 2 or 3 years, life is going to look and feel a lot more different than it has in the past. Not just because of new technology, but I think because of the collective consciousness. I feel like everyone's moving away. Like, I remember when I first got on my spiritual journey, and I had my awakening in 2012. And back then, nobody was talking about this. There were very few channels that did tarot. There were very few channels on YouTube that really went in depth with spirituality. I feel like nowadays it's almost kind of odd to see religion being talked about and religious channels, because everything is spirituality right now. Almost everyone is into astrology. Everyone is into herbs. Like, you see how things have changed in just a short period of time. With the advancement of technology, things are going to change even more drastically, even quicker. So this is an amazing time to be alive. So sit back and watch what happens. But most importantly, I feel like the biggest lesson of Pluto and Aquarius is that you need to be self-autonomous. You need to create your own structures in life. You know, I feel like Pisces season, particularly when Saturn went into Pisces 2 weeks ago, it taught us that, or the lesson with that is that we have to do the work to create our own reality. And that own reality is going to become more of a thing with Pluto in Aquarius. I feel like more people are going to be focused on their own reality, not the reality that the government tells you to have, that the church tells you to have, that society tells you to have. This is all about you and finding other people who are also living in their own realities. Okay. I feel like it's just going to be so dope. All right. And it's going to advance humanity, not just in the everyday sense, like civilly, but also the collective consciousness. Like I said, the fact that the government consistently uses the word woke should tell you something. All right. Consciousness is a thing. Now, their definition of woke, I'm not even going to speak on that. But the fact that more people are waking up and that people are taking notice, that people are understanding that the way that they've been living their life has not been living, it's only been existing, and wanting to create a life where you live, where you thrive, where you truly have the things that you want. This is the collective consciousness that's being elevated, that's coming to the forefront, and that's allowing us to live our best lives on our own terms. And I really think that Pluto in Aquarius is the driving force, or is going to be the driving force behind that. All right. So keep that in mind and be open to not only newness, but open to finding people who vibe on the same wavelength. That's the essence of Aquarian energy. It's all about collaboration, but not just collaboration for the sake of it, or collaborating with people who don't think the same way that you do. I mean, the way that the collective consciousness is waking up, I truly believe that at some point, if someone is not vibing on the same wavelength as you, they're just not going to be in your reality. It's not even going to be a situation where, so-and-so is an energy vampire, or so-and-so is not on the same wavelength. That person won't even be in your periphery. You're only going to be finding people who are vibing on that same level. And in collaborating with those people, that is how we are going to advance humanity. All right. So again, super dope time to be alive. All right. Then we also have the moon moving into Taurus. So the moon is going to be in the waxing crescent phase. So we're just off the heels of that new moon in Aries, right? So we're doing the things. We're probably doing a lot of things, especially because we've got Mercury conjunct the new moon. A lot of thoughts, a lot of communication, like feeling really amped. And then we get to the moon in Taurus, and Spirit is like, I want you to take several seats because when the moon is in Taurus, that is the time when we want to relax. That's the time when we want to get cozy. We want to get comfortable. We want to put on our favorite sweats, stay in bed and watch some movies, right? I love the moon in Taurus, not just because the moon is exalted in Taurus, right? So we feel that energy a lot more intensely, but because it reminds us that we not only have to rest to conserve our energy, but we have to rest knowing that we've taken the initial steps and we can kind of let the energy do its thing. When you're taking action with something, you put out a certain amount of energy, right? And while you can keep putting out energy, which obviously builds momentum, sometimes you got to let that energy come back to you, right? And in coming back to you, that's how you're able to recalibrate and change how you move if necessary. And I feel like when the moon is in Taurus, that's exactly what we can do. But it's also time just for appreciation. Taurus loves to appreciate doing nothing. Taurus loves to be cozy, to be comfortable, right? And so life slows down, we get comfortable, we can stop and smell the roses and realize that we don't have to work so hard, that there is definitely a time and a place and a necessity for rest, all right? So you may find that at the beginning of the week, you're doing the most. Okay. And definitely by the end of the week, things are going to taper off a little bit and you can rest and relax. All right. Let's keep it moving. All right. So then on Saturday, we've got Mars entering Cancer, and you'll see that the very top hand portion of the chart. Then we've also got the moon moving into Gemini. All right. So Mars was, or at the time of the filming this, Mars has been in Gemini for 7 months. So since August of last year, Mars has been in Gemini. So wherever Gemini is in your chart, that's where you have been feeling this burst of energy, this motivating force, this desire to go after the things that you want. Remember, Mars is the ruling planet of Aries. So that Aries energy has been present in whatever area of life is governed by Gemini in your natal chart. So this may be where you've had a lot of ideas, because Gemini is all about ideas and communication. You've been talking to a lot of people, doing the most, transacting a lot of business, learning a lot of things, right? And then in October, Mars went retrograde. So that energy, that busyness, that busybody energy that you were feeling definitely subsided. And you may have been feeling lazy, lethargic, and a lot less motivated. But then in January, Mars went direct again, right? And so that same busybody energy finally ramped back up and you were able to do more things. You get the point. Now Mars is moving out of Gemini. So if it's been a rough 7 months for you, or you feel like you've been all over the place, rest assured that that energy is passing and it's moving on to a new sign. So Mars is moving into Cancer on Saturday. Mars does not like Cancer energy, okay? Mars is headstrong, direct, is passionate, right? But not emotional. Mars in Cancer can feel extremely frustrating because you may want to do something, but you find that your emotions kind of get in the way. You may want to go after something, but your emotions may get in the way. Or you find that you are extremely moody when it comes to things. So 1 minute you want to do it, the next minute you don't. It's that very mood swingy kind of energy, right? And Mars cannot stand that. Mars is actually in fall in Cancer, okay? Because Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Capricorn is the opposite sign of Cancer. So whenever a planet is in the sign that is opposite the sign of its exaltation, it's known as being in its sign of fall. So when a planet's in a sign of fall, it's uncomfortable, it's uneasy, it's like a misfit kind of an energy. And that's exactly how Mars operates in a very watery and sensitive sign like Cancer, okay? Getting extremely defensive is going to be a thing. Now, I forgot how long Mars is actually going to be in Cancer, but it's going to be probably a good month and a half to 2 months, let's say. Imagine being sensitive about something and then getting defensive over it, right? Like, let's say you just created something or you did something and someone's like, what is that? That looks horrible. And just getting irate over the fact that someone criticized you, right? Like a lot of that is going to be going on while Mars is in Cancer, okay? So it can be people being very defensive, especially if people are emotionally triggered, getting defensive and getting aggressive, okay? It's not a feel-good kind of transit, if I'm being honest. Now remember, Mars is that Aries energy, right? So it's all about taking action, especially taking new action on things. Wherever Cancer is in your chart, you're going to find that you may have the motivation to do things, but your mood and your emotions get in the way. So whether you start something or initiate something is really going to depend on how you feel at the time. If you feel motivated, then you're probably going to do it. However, if you don't, you're not only not going to do it, you're going to be very crabby about it and very sensitive and therefore very defensive and perhaps a bit aggressive. Okay, so again, not the best kind of transit, but every day can't be rainbows and unicorns, right? But in any event, the one thing I will say is that Cancer energy can be very defensive naturally, but especially for people that you love. So when it comes to defending people that you love, it may be slightly easier with Mars in Cancer. Okay. This may also be a bit of heightening of perhaps your psychic abilities or your sensitivities. But again, I wouldn't necessarily count on that. I would just probably say that you probably just feel extremely sensitive, probably overly sensitive, aggressive, aggy, and defensive. All right. Again, every transit cannot be rainbows and unicorns. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt. All right. And then finally, we close out the week with the moon in Gemini. So this is busy body energy. So It's nice that it's going down on the weekend. It's great for socializing. It's great for communicating with people, really getting out there, that kind of thing. And because it's the waxing crescent phase, this is the time where we take action steps towards the things that we want. So this is talking to people about the things that we want. This is learning more, doing research about the things that we want. This is thinking of a master plan, all of those kind of communication and idea sort of energy with respect to taking action steps towards the things that we want. That's going to be the best use of the energy while the waxing crescent moon is in Gemini. All right. And again, because it's going down over the weekend, great time to be social, great time to kind of party, talk to people, get out there, all that good stuff. All right. So beautiful week that we have, especially with that new moon in Aries. You're definitely going to want to take advantage of that. All right. And so now, I guess I've started doing this whole thing where I pull some cards for everyone for the week. All right. And so let's get into that right now. So remember, I'm going to do it by sign, but whatever resonates is what resonates. It could be for your sun, your moon, your rising, your Venus, your north node, your Mars. Whatever resonates for you is what resonates. All right. So as always, we will start at the beginning with Aries. So let's see what we've got for Aries for this week. Temperance. All right. This reminds me of what I was just saying before about how we've got the sun in Aries, but we've also got the spring equinox. So Aries, it's all about temperance. It's all about moderation. It can't always be about you, right? There's going to be some relationships that are going to come into focus definitely this week. All right. And Spirit is saying that you should take a more moderate or conservative approach to things, whatever that may mean for you. But in any event, this is about being, not to say don't be headstrong. It's not to say that you shouldn't go after the things that you want or to address your desires, but just keep in mind that you're not the only person in this situation. So moderation is going to be key this week. Also, try not to be too reckless, okay? Especially if you're like an Aries sun and it's your season. Like some of y'all really get turned up when it's your season. All right. So try to practice some moderation. And I think that your season will go extremely well this year. All right. Next up, we've got Taurus. Let's see what we have for Taurus for this week. The same card. I was told to reshuffle. All right. We've got the Hanged Man. All right, so is there something that you need to deliberate on? Rather than just tapping into that Aries energy and leaping before you look, Spirit is like, hang on for a second, hold back, and really think about a situation. Like you need a little bit more of enlightenment on the situation. So don't feel like you need to just rush in and just start taking action. Hang back and deliberate. Think about whatever it is that you need or that you want or that you're trying to have, and allow Spirit to work with you on this particular situation. Okay. Next up, we've got Gemini. Let's see what we have for Gemini for this week. I keep getting repeat cards. Let's see. All right, Gemini, we've got the Devil. All right. So this week, you guys are going to realize that you have a very unhealthy attachment, okay? Could be to a thing. It could be to a person. Remember I said that Aries Libra axis is about you and relationships. And I feel like some of you may have been focused on the we part of that axis for quite some time. And Aries season is going to shine a light on what you need and what you desire. And you may realize that you've been unhealthily attached to a particular person. And now it's really time to focus on what you want and what you want to do. So I'm hearing that some of you may be severing ties with someone, or some of you may be really changing the dynamic of a particular situation because you really need to focus more on yourself right now. Okay. All right. Next up, we've got Cancer. Let's see what we've got for Cancer for this week. Oops. Keep getting repeating cards. And mind you, I definitely shuffled this well. All right, Cancer, we've got the Daughter of Wands, which is like the Page of Wands. All right, so some of you are going to be learning how to wield your power this week, especially your psychic and your spiritual powers. Some of you, these things are coming alive this week, and you're really going to, sort of like Harry Potter when he first got his wand and he was just using it and doing all of this crazy stuff, right? Like, I feel like that's how you guys are going to be this week. Like, you're finally stepping into your power, finally feeling empowered, and you're going to take your new wand for a test drive. For some of you, I'm hearing that's also sexual, so please be careful with that. But in any event, you guys are in a very creative moment right now, so use it to your advantage. Okay, next up, we've got Leo. Let's see what we've got for Leo. Temperance. Okay, this spring equinox energy is really coming through today. So, Leo, you guys have a certain amount of moderation as well. Okay, but more so for you guys, there's something that's being alchemized right now. There's a situation that wasn't working out well or wasn't working out in your favor. And I feel like it's being alchemized into something a lot better. So, some of you are being, some of you need to practice patience this week. And that may be a little difficult because all of this Aries energy has a lot of people really amped and motivated, right? But be patient because there's work that's being done on this situation by spirit, by the universe, that's going to require you to be patient, but it's actually alchemizing the situation, okay? So just be patient. Things are going to work out a lot better in the near future, okay? Let's see what we have for Virgo. Virgo, what's going on with you this week? Y'all are stressed the hell out. More so than you usually are. Some of you are fearing the worst. You feel like you're either ruminating on a past betrayal or you're really apprehensive about the future, as if you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, or you think that this situation is not gonna work out at all. And spirit is like, you really like, I want you to look at these two cards. Like, you guys are really feeling it this week. But look at this butterfly right here. This situation is transforming before your eyes, but because you're so in your head about it and you're telling yourself this story that isn't necessarily representative of reality, you're bracing yourself for the worst when the situation is actually definitely not as bad as you think it is. So this week, get out of your head and allow things to just unfold. It's really not as bad as you think it is. Okay? All right, next up, we've got Libra. Let's see what we've got for Libra. All right, Libra, we've got the Emperor. Okay, some of you are really taking charge of a situation right now. I'm seeing that you are really embodying that Aries energy the most this week. You're definitely taking charge. You're moving forward. Some of you have been strategizing something, almost like an army general. And I feel like this is the week that you go on the attack. Some of you, this may be against somebody. I don't know if this has to do with the legal situation, but I'm kind of hearing that, where it's like you've come up with this dope ass legal strategy and you're ready to move forward with that this week. For some, I'm hearing it's a divorce. Others, I'm hearing it's just like a regular civil case. But in any event, you are playing offense right now and not defense with whatever situation that you're going through. But this is a result of careful planning and strategizing, and you're ready to move forward. So by all means, execute this week. I think you'll be highly successful. Okay. Next up, we've got not Capricorn. What are we up to? Scorpio. We've got Scorpio. Let's see what we've got here. Ooh, Scorpio. We've got the Ace of Cups. Some of you are going to be feeling so fulfilled. I feel like Pisces season really had you in the trenches, and it showed you a lot about yourself, a lot about your emotions. Some of you really did the manifestation work, and I feel like your cup is about to runneth over this week and definitely into Aries season. New relationships, but a new sense of fulfillment. It may not be a brand new spanking person coming your way, but I feel like you're going to fall in love again with what you're doing, or maybe something that you wanted or something that you've been working toward. I see emotional fulfillment coming your way, and it's very well deserved. So congratulations. All right. Next up, we've got Sagittarius, right? All right. So All right, Sag, we've got the God of Wands. This is you. You guys are sitting on your throne this week. You guys are confident. You guys are fired up and you guys are ready to go. Some of you, I'm hearing you're ready to go to war too. I'm sort of getting that same energy of like Libra, that on the attack. But rather than you attacking, I feel like you're sort of just sitting on your throne and you're delegating people to do your dirty work for you. I don't know. That sounds really random, but that's just what I'm getting. But you guys are confident, you're fired up, you're ready to go, and you're delegating responsibilities to other people. So you could be leading a team. You could be, especially at work, you could be leading a team or directing something. And I see you delegating tasks in a very aggressive yet confident way. Okay. So I feel like with that kind of energy, you can definitely accomplish whatever the objective is. And I'm hearing that you definitely will. Okay. Next up, we've got Capricorn. Let's see what we've got for Capricorn for this week. All right, Capricorn, here you are, God of Pentacles. Y'all are counting money this week. Something about Venus conjunct North Node is bringing money in for you. I want you to take a good look at this card. You see how he's just standing next to this pile of money right here? Like, this is you guys. This is your bank account getting fatter. This is unexpected money coming in. This is you saving. Some of you are getting like a nice dividend or like a great return on an investment. But I feel like for you guys, that Venus conjunct North Node is all about securing the bag and addressing your bottom line. So congrats to you. I see money definitely coming in this week. All right. That was Capricorn. So now we are up to Aquarius. Let's see what we have for Aquarius for this week. All right, Aquarius, we've got strength. So this is your sister sign. This is Leo. Okay. Some of you are taming your inner beast. Okay. Some of you, I'm hearing like overcoming addiction, overcoming your lower nature. Some of you have successfully tamed your demons or tamed your beast. So I feel like the last couple of weeks or the recent past has been a bit turbulent for you, but I feel like you're about to enter a season of more peace and more tranquility because you finally understood how to tame that line. Not to say that you are not gonna like be fired up or have strength. It's just that there was something that was controlling you and you've successfully or you will successfully be able to control it. So you're going to have a much more peaceful and much happier time going forward. Okay. And finally, last but certainly not least, we've got Pisces. Let's see what we've got for Pisces for this week. We've got 3 of Wands. Some of you are expecting something. There's something that you're expecting to move forward. And I see it moving forward, but it's still got a long way to go. Something about like an application, something you may have put an application in and you're waiting to hear back. And I'm hearing that you're feeling apprehensive because you feel like no news is bad news. But in actuality, the process is much longer than you're realizing, or even that whoever is receiving your application or running this thing, it's like the process has to be lengthened. Like they need more time. And so it's going to keep you waiting a little more, but it doesn't mean that because you haven't heard anything, it doesn't mean that it's a no. It just means that there's just more of the process to go. So be patient, but be hopefully optimistic. Now is the time for you to be optimistic and for you to envision a positive outcome. Because again, just because something's taking a long time doesn't mean that it's not going to happen in your favor. The only reason why it's not going to happen in your favor is if you don't believe that it will. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, my loves. So that's it. That's it for this week. Hopefully you were able to get at least one important piece of information that you can use going forward into this week. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Aries season. Happy Aries new moon. I wish you nothing but the absolute best for this new week. and this new zodiacal year. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, check me here every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you again so much for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next time. All right. Take care.